if at all possible, try to avoid having your child on a Thursday. Okay, because if you have the misfortune of having your child on a Thursday, the hospital will boot you out on Saturday morning, leaving a 48 full hours of unsupervised mayhem between the steady stream of on-call medical professionals and your first appointment with a pediatrician. So that is exactly the reason that my wife asked to see the lactation consultant 79 times in the day and a half we were legally permitted to bother her. And yeah, because once we got home, like there's no one medically trained to get a baby to latch onto a nipple so that she might live through the weekend. And in fact, there are no professional baby raising people of any sort in our house anywhere. So yeah, so once we crossed that threshold of the sliding glass doors of the hospital, we were on our own. And it was especially important that I soaked up all the information that I could because I was to be Mabel's primary caregiver. And that decision for me to leave my job in favor of raising our child was an easy one, because mathematically speaking, all of the spectrum of tangible values you could possibly assign to the intangible benefit of raising one's own child was greater than the difference between my salary and the cost of daycare. So in layman's terms, I didn't make a lot of money. You guys are getting that. Okay, got it. So yeah, I was leaving my job and I was very happy about it. I was excited, but also a little sad. Not sad to be leaving, but sad as a 37-year-old man in the same profession for 14 years that I couldn't make a better case for staying. So anyway, and like all people, leaving their job to go that they've been at for a decade now to do this, I was torn, okay? Because on one hand, I was excited to leave and to be raising our child and pioneering childcare in the new millennium, but on the other, I was just see, I did exactly what I didn't think I was going to do. I banged this up, Jack, just like I said I wasn't going to do. So yeah, I was going to be pioneering childcare in the new millennium as an at-home dad, and yeah, now I'm really stuck in this thing. So there were while my old supervisor wasn't the best communicator, he didn't solely rely on screaming directly in my face at the top of his lungs when he needed something done. That was reserved for the end of the fiscal year. So, and yes, now my new boss, it felt like at times my old job that my supervisor would ask me to bring him a rock. Okay, and so I would bring him a rock. And he would say, "No, that's not it. Bring me another." Okay, I would bring him another rock. "No, this isn't it either. Bring me another. Grumble, grumble." This would continue until one or both of us had either gotten exhausted or forgotten about the rock. This is exactly what taking care of an infant is like. Except instead of asking me to bring her a rock, Mabel would close her eyes tight, open her mouth as loud as she could, and put her lungs to work. And I would change her diaper, still screaming. I would sing her a song, didn't help. I would try to feed her, not interested. I'd pick her up. I would put her down. I would read to her. I would put a blanket on her, take a blanket off her, put her in the swing, put her in the crib, put her in the car, put her in the yard, put her in the swing, in the crib, in the car, in the yard. One time, I brought her an actual rock. She paused, looked at it for a moment, and threw it down and said, "Nope, bring me another." Wah! So, effectively, I just traded one poor communication style for another. But Mabel Corp is much more rewarding business to work for, as most nonprofit tend to be. So, and as Chief Operating Officer, I have much more of a stake in the company. And yes, though I can no longer feign a stomach flu to go golfing on a random Sunday, Thursday, there aren't a lot of CEOs out there that will let you nap with them for hours in the middle of the workday. So besides, I think the CFO has the hots for me. So, thank you, everybody.